Welcome to the first of 12 weekly seminars that comprise this semester's Harry and Joshua Tsujimoto Perspectives in Global Development Seminar Series. This series showcases innovative ideas and approaches to development. It brings together innovative professionals, development practitioners, scholars, policy experts from across the world to spend some time with us here at Cornell University, interact with faculty, interact with students, and share to the world some of the things that they're doing. We're exceptionally grateful to the Tsujimoto family for their support of this series. If you've attended in the past, you'll notice that this seminar series now, that down, we're getting some feedback. I'm gonna turn it off. I'll speak loudly. You'll notice that this semester, for the first time, this seminar series carries the name of the family, the Tsujimoto family. It honors two members of their family, Harry and Joshua, Cornell graduates, class of 1951 and 49 respectively, that went on to do great things. And so the family's generosity allows us to bring in people like today's speaker, Febri Doni, from across the world to share some time with us. The series is co-sponsored by the Department of Global Development, the Department of Natural Resources and the Environment, the Charles Dyson School of Applied Economics and Management, and the School of Integrated Plant Sciences, all at Cornell. So let me now take the opportunity to introduce briefly our speaker. Dr. Febri Doni is an assistant professor in the Department of Biology at the University of Pajarajan. I'm sorry that I misspelled that, no doubt, in Indonesia. He's also coordinator of the SRI Global Research Network. Previously, he was a postdoctoral research fellow at the Institute of Biological Sciences at the University of Malaya. He completed master's and PhD degrees at the National University of Malaysia. And his current work focuses on the system of rice intensification, plant microbe interactions, phytopathology, and agroecology. And if you look him up on Google Scholar, you'll see he has a very impressive list of research publications. His collaborators include some leading scholars from around the world, including some here at Cornell. So we're very pleased to have you here, Dr. Doni. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry, for the introduction. Well, it's really an honor for me to speak at Cornell. I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizing committee, especially Maria, for organizing a very important webinar series, and for having me here to speak at your important webinar series. Yeah, my name is Febri Doni. I'm from Indonesia. Today, I'm going to be showcasing to you all about our effort in mainstreaming system of rice intensification in Southeast Asia, as well as I will like to highlight our work with farmers to promote the use of beneficial microbe Trichoderma in system of rice intensification method. Also, towards the end of my presentation, I will highlight our regional network, Southeast Asia 3 regional network, and research global research networks. So this is my presentation outline. As I told you, I'm going to introduce to you what is SRI and Trichoderma innovation. The third one, I would like to discuss about the Southeast Asia 3 regional network, or C3. Towards the end, we'll highlight a little bit about our global collaborative effort in promoting SRI research. So, what is the system of rice intensification? You know, the SRI is an agroecological method of planting rice, which originated in Madagascar in 1980s. It has been validated in over 60 countries and is currently practiced by probably more than 20 million rice farmers across the world. Three practices involve promoting a healthier soil and soil biota by providing organic amendments, aerating the soil through weeding, and carefully managing water to avoid both flooding and water stress. So, these are the differences between SRI and conventional. The SRI method, we basically use young seedling, 5 to 10 days old, while in the conventional methods, in Asia, in Southeast Asia, we just broadcasting the pre-germinated seeds. And sometimes if we do transplanting, we use all seedling. Why we need to use young seedling? Because when we use young seedling, we can avoid the trauma during the transplanting, and you know, the young seedling tend to produce more robust plants during the subsequent stage of growth, as well as when we use young seedling, we will be having a longer vegetative stage. That will be beneficial for rice because rice can produce more tillers and better rooting system. We use one seedling per hill instead of 3 or more seedling per hill, you know, because when we use one seedling per hill, it's actually beneficial for plants, rice plants, because to reduce the competition, both for nutrient and for the water. And we use wider spacing, 25 to 25 centimeters or even more in some countries in the Southeast Asia. We use sometimes 3 centimeters more spacing. Yeah. In SRI, we mostly maintain the soil aerobic and unsaturated soil conditions because to promote the rooting, you know, if we use less water, then the root will be deeper. And also the aerobic soil condition will promote the beneficial soil microbes in the soil. Yeah, you know, the beneficial microbe mostly aerobics microorganisms. So we need to put our soil, our land under aerobic condition. Yeah. When in the conventional, basically we just use a lot of water. That's not nice now because, you know, the climate change, you know, especially in Asia now, it's very difficult to predict the weather, you know. So then we have to reduce the use of water. And in SRI, we use organic matter as fertilizer for soil enhancement. Yeah. The organic fertilizer is actually very good for boosting the microbial activities in the soil. And the microbial in the soil, microbial communities will help the plants to grow even better. While in the conventional method, you use a lot of chemical fertilizer. The chemical fertilizer will kill the microbes and will kill everything in the soil. And SRI, we use mechanical weeding to remove the weed and also to give the oxygen to the soil. Yeah. And as I told to you that most of the beneficial microbes in the soil are aerobic. So then the mechanical weeding is actually very important because to give more oxygen to the soil. Yeah. And for the conventional, mostly we use herbicide to control the weed. So if you can see here in our plots in Malaysia. This is from Malaysia. During the storm, the tree plants can withstand the storm. Yeah, and the SRI plants also producing a darker green color. You know, it means that more chlorophyll in the tree plants compared to conventional. This is the differences between tree and conventional. Yeah, you can see here. And how about the yield? The yield that we can see to show to you, this is the yield from Malaysia. This is not only from our trial, but also from farmers. The yield is actually sometimes can be like 3 times or 4 times higher than conventional. You can see that in Malaysia we have like 3.6 ton per hectare national average of yield of rice. So when we use SRI, we actually can get sometimes like 7.5 tons per hectare twice, and sometimes 3 times higher than in the conventional. So so how about benefit that SRI can give to the plants? Yeah, I summarize this here. It's actually from our colleague research in India, that Dr. Ahmad Thakur is basically comparing the rice plants, you know, in terms of physiological characteristic in rice grown under conventional and SRI. In the vegetative stage, in SRI, plants produce higher leaf chlorophyll content and more photosynthesis. Yeah, and in the SRI also transpire less water. It means the SRI can improve water use efficiency. Again, I told you that it's really important to reduce the use of water in the rice cultivation. And of course, in the vegetative stage, you have like more tillers and more panicles, yeah, and enhanced root system with better distributions. In the harvest stage, you can get higher grain filling percentage and heavier grains in SRI plants compared to conventional. So it's not only three benefit the plants and to produce more like what to say yield, but also the SRI can enhance the insect diversity, you know, because in SRI we use no pesticide, then we can attract parasitoid and beneficial insects to protect the rice plants from the insect pests. And in some location in Indonesia, we planted the flowers in the surrounding the rice plants. This is actually to attract more parasitoid that can protect our rice from the pests. While in the conventional, you know, we just spraying a lot of herbicide. Okay. And this is from our colleague from India, Padmawati, did this kind of study to compare the insect in SRI and in conventional. Yeah, you see here that the parasitoid in SRI is higher, and predators and higher in SRI, while in conventional the pest is higher. So we how about the microbial in the soil? Yeah, we know that the SRI has a different approach in managing the soil and in managing the water. Then we did a lot of study on this as well, that we can see here in SRI, because aerobic soil conditions got more microbe in the soil. Yeah. and the microbial activities is higher than in conventional. Here in conventional. Yeah. And from our study also, we can see that the microbes in SRI, this is beneficial microbe that we're counting in the soil. Yeah, using we use traditional method to count, and also we use like metagenomic to really check how much is that SRI can enhance the microbial diversity in the soil. Yeah. So microbe is very important because they're promoting the plant's growth. They're involved in nutrient cycling in the soil, and microbe also involved in nitrogen fixing, sulfate solubilizing, and so on. There's so many important roles that microbes play in the soil. Yeah, so SRI can enhance this diversity, the activities in the soil. Yeah, microbial beneficial microbes. Okay, and then next, Trichoderma innovation. Yeah, as I mentioned in the beginning, that SRI we use young seedling, and we use organic fertilizer. Yeah. So there's a problem in Southeast Asia that we are facing, because that farmers are very difficult to get the effective microorganism. First problem. And then the second problem is that in SRI, we use one seedling per hill. So it means we need to promote, we need to protect them from the disease, yeah, at the early stage of growth. So we think about that we need to have inoculants, microbial inoculant that can be used by our farmers in Southeast Asia, where the inoculant can be integrated into the SRI farming system in Southeast Asia. So then we work with beneficial fungus called Trichoderma. Trichoderma is beneficial fungus that has so many roles in the ecosystems. The Trichoderma can actually colonize the root and can enhance gene expression in the plants. And Trichoderma also can be moving from the roots to the other organs in the rice plants that in the end of the day will enhance plants growth, nutrient acquisition, and physiological and biochemical characteristics. So we work with our colleague in Malaysia to isolate Trichoderma from the soil, and then we screening the Trichoderma, and we test in the greenhouse to check how is that the capacity of this Trichoderma to enhance rice growth that we can use for rice farmers in Southeast Asia. And we also did like metabolomic study to understand what that metabolite that can be produced by this Trichoderma that link to their capacity in promoting the rice growth. This is the data from our greenhouse evaluation. Yeah, you see here that when we're inoculating the Trichoderma with rice, all the like plant height, root press weight, canopy press weight, root biomass, and canopy biomass increase like 3 times than with Trichoderma, without Trichoderma inoculation. We eventually did the field evaluation to understand, to know how is that this Trichoderma increase the plants growth in the field set up. Yeah, you see the same. We got the same result as from the greenhouse. So this trichoderma can be used by our farmers in Southeast Asia. And I would like to also highlight the how our trichoderma like increase the photosynthetic rate, stomatal conductance, internal CO2 concentration, and also to reduce transpiration. You know, the transpiration is less in trichoderma inoculated plant. It means the water use efficiency is higher. This is the plants with and without trichoderma. We're having a more chlorophyll here. You know, chlorophyll is very important to capture the light. That be able that in the end of the day will produce sugar from the chlorophyll. And we did like transcriptomic profiling of rice plant with trichoderma. This is a little bit advanced study. We inoculated the trichoderma with the rice with trichoderma, and we can see that all the genes, that beneficial genes in the plants are being upregulated. Okay. So what is next? So we have our superior trichoderma. So we don't want to stop the trichoderma, the use of trichoderma in the labs. We in our team in Southeast Asia, we need to be able to help the farmers. So it doesn't mean how good your strain, how many papers you can publish from this trichoderma. You know, the academicians, they like to produce papers, but we want to bring impact to the farmers. So we work closely with farmers in Southeast Asia to produce bioinoculant using corn. We use the corn with trichoderma. You know, it's not easy to produce the trichoderma because the petri dish you have to produce in large scale. So we want our farmer to be able to produce the trichoderma in the large scale, in that they can use for the rice plants. So we use corn as the delivery carrier. So we inoculate trichoderma in the corn kernel. That trichoderma will grow here, and you actually can use this as a soil inoculant. From the result of our farmers, yeah, the yield can be enhanced like for 30%. Not only in Southeast Asia, trichoderma is widely used by farmers in China. We have the report that our 3 farmers in China use trichoderma as well, also in India. And we actually teach the farmers how to produce their own bioinoculants with a simple, low-cost equipment. Yeah. Then this is the trichoderma, and we use corn, and we cook the corn, and we sterilize the corn with the simple pressure cooker machine, and we can produce the bioinoculant just like this using this simple method. Now this is really help the farmers in our region in Southeast Asia. And we did a lot of trainings as well for the farmers in Southeast Asia. See here the farmers from Thailand, from Malaysia, and even we have a farmers from North Korea coming to our training. So see, we science, and there's no boundary. We can have a North Korean farmers with us, learning how to produce trichoderma bioinoculant. And then we do have a lot of trainings and with farmers across Southeast Asia. But we find that it's very difficult to connect the farmers, with trainers, to connect the farmers with equipment. You know, SRI needs equipment to implement the SRI. So we work with our partners in Southeast Asia to launch our own Southeast Asia 3 regional networks. Well, we call it C3. C3 is actually being launched because of that we need to connect farmers with the trainers, equipment, like for producing trichoderma, how to produce trichoderma. So they don't have access to that. So we create our very brand new network that connect farmers with researchers, with policymakers. Yeah. And we did in the website you can see that we have resources here. For example, that you can the farmers in Southeast Asia, street farmers can actually download our resources. Yeah, training manuals and how to connect with the trainers. We do have all the information in the website, and we have different language. We have Indonesian, Malaysian, Filipino, Thai, Myanmarese, and Lao manuals. Yeah. And we did a lot of trainings and consultation workshop in Southeast Asia. This is our training in Philippines. We want to teach our farmers in Southeast Asia how to use equipment. For example, this in Malaysia, this the organic workshop in organic fertilizer, how to produce trichoderma based biofertilizer in Malaysia. And we also did a lot of advocacy works, and we work with our partners in Philippines, for example, to have a dialogue with their government. In this regard is the Philippine Department of Agriculture. And the good news is that the government in the Philippines agreed to invest to support SRI. Yeah. And the website and our network also provide access to equipment in each country. The problem with SRI, to upscale the SRI, is that it's not easy to get the equipment. So we work with our national coordinators in each country in Southeast Asia to launch our website and to put the equipment information here on the website. So for example, the weeders. So farmers can click these weeders, and then they will link to this page that they can buy in the marketplace. Shopee is very famous in Southeast Asia, in Asia. It's just like Amazon here in the US. And we also put the information how to buy offline. Yeah. And the obviously China is the most the largest producers of equipment. So we put the information how to buy internationally from Alibaba. So our farmers also buy the equipment from Alibaba. And then we did a lot of things with the farmers, but we don't wanna. We want to help our SRI community as well, especially for the research community. And we actually launch our global research networks to to bring more impact and to connect with because the research community of SRI is really large. So we want to connect everyone in the research community. And we have a very large database in Zotero. If you go to the SRI research database in Zotero, we do have like 2,400 more research items where you can see here in this database. And as I told to you that SRI has been validated in over 60 countries. So we have large many publication, and we have very extensive database. However, this is for example in Indonesia alone, that SRI has been validated in like 40 research institutions, in Indonesia only. However, we find we have challenges, yeah. That most of our research publication from this database, yeah, and also from Indonesia, this for example from Indonesia, that most of the papers publication published by our three communities still in mostly in non referred journals. So we want to help them. We want to help our three researchers around the world. Then then we want to help them through our research network. Then we launched our three global research networks. Just I think just had been launched 2 months ago. And this three global research network is actually jointly hosted by IndustryNet, Indonesian Three Research Network, and the Three Rise at Cornell. So we been getting a lot of support from Cornell as well to launch our research network. And we did a lot of sharing session. We connect the SRI researchers with their colleagues around the world. So we organize webinar, we organize sharing session. This is our from our like last week webinar. And you know, it's very difficult for our colleague SRI researchers to get access to subscription materials. So we have our database, the Zotero database, where our three researchers can access freely to subscription materials. So we have our database in research database in a research network. And we also provide access to the latest research informations like grant, funding opportunities. So we also highlight our activities in our newsletter. Yeah, you can subscribe our newsletter and just need to go to three research.org. And how about publication? Yeah, so we do have a lot of publication in different topics. So it's actually very good to know that now we need to prioritize our research beyond adoption, because adoption is really have been really widely published, but we have opportunity to focus on more, for example, on methane emission, climate change mitigation, soil biota. Yeah. So there is the research gaps, then the research opportunities in the future that we can explore more research in this area in order to bring more impact for our SRI communities around the world. Yeah. And this is the summary. We need obviously need regional research collaboration more. We need to foster partnership among Southeast Asian countries to study three impact on regional food security. We have to look at the possibility to do more knowledge exchange programs. We are planning to do this in the future. We wanna have like farmers exchange programs in Southeast Asia. So then farmers can go to Indonesia from Philippines, and farmers from Philippines can go to Malaysia. So we need more investment into knowledge exchange programs and policy advocacy. So we also need to focus on this area in order to bring in order to pressure the government to put more allocation and more support for SRI. And of course, we need a global research, more solid global research initiative. Yeah? We need to collaborate on global research projects, exploring three long-term sustainability, for example, and we need to have like data sharing platform. Now we have the data sharing platform like Zotero. And also we need to, SRI communities around the world also need to invest more on innovative approaches, especially now we're working on the, in the era where AI and, all these advanced technology is now really being widely used. So we need our SRI community around the world to also moving toward that direction. Yeah, thank you, and I'm happy to get the question from you all.
Okay, thank you, Febri. Just raise your hand. I will walk around with the mic and just keep it close to your mouth as you ask your question, because we have people online as well. I'm not sure how many right now, but last semester seminar series, we had people from 350 organizations in 45 plus countries. So speak clearly and loudly so the mic picks it up for those who are joining us from abroad. Questions?
Morning, everyone. My name is Mariko Kurutum from Mali. And I thank the lecturer for the wonderful presentation. I want to do some contribution, but also ask 2 questions. First of all, we also have, we do SRI in back home with our producers, but like you explained, is based on the 3 main things like water control, use of organic fertilizer, and also the planting system. But producers back home, they have the way to choose some of the practice and which one are like more easier for them to do and leave the others. But I would like to know, the question is, what about the percentage of farmers back in your Indonesia who adopted the SRI? And also if the country, the government has any grant or any way to help those farmers to get their input, like seeds, fertilizer, equipment, and everything they need so that they can be doing the SRI, because it's the good way to increase the yield and everything. Thank you.
Our second question to government. Yeah. So we unfortunately but the conventional work on like the okay. But for SRI, we don't get how the development care about the some investment for the but there's a very story. We very many local government. So we don't really need to rely on our national government. So what we are doing now in Indonesia is that we're focusing on promoting SRI in a local government. Usually in Indonesia we have projects called Tsujimoto, where there is one agency that is fully like 80% using SRI, because the local government that is really supporting the SRI community there. And for the national charity, because the politicians, there are so many elements that involve in the national politics. So I think we have to look at to the national, regional, even local government, then we can get support from them as well. And for the first question is on the equipment. Yeah, it's not that Indonesia now has 270 million population. So we that really hard part. We don't know how many SRI farmers that are in Indonesia, but from our study from using various source, we can see that around 2 to 3 farmers of SRI in Indonesia.
Okay, we have a question back here.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cameron. Thank you for the presentation. I'm not a scientist, but I felt like I was able to follow a lot of what you were saying, and I really appreciate that. My question is sort of related to the question of governance here. There's a lot of actors that you described, farmers, scientists, local governments, and then more broadly, national governments. I'm curious, do you find that there's a difference in attitude and understanding of SRI between these different actors, a different understanding of its capabilities and a different attitude towards its possibilities? Thank you.
We there's a lot of differences in understanding of SRI between layers, governmental stakeholders in Indonesia. For example, we do have like very good policy supporting SRI, like from our previous administration, President Widodo. And when the Jokowi was elected, then he dropped all these policies. That's the difficulty working with the national government. But fortunately, in Indonesia, we are now decentralized. So the local government has more power to decide what they want. And you know, the local government might be different from each area. And for example, in Sumatra the Sumatra Island might be more supportive toward SRI. But for the government in for example in Java might be not really as supportive as in Sumatra. But in Java alone, where we have so many provinces. So in West Java, the government is quite supportive, but in East Java, not really supportive. So they have different attitude towards SRI. So it's very challenging to work with them. Also, Indonesia is a big country, not to mention Southeast Asia. So it's really we have to work hard with different stakeholders, different with policymakers, farmers, researchers, yeah, to really invest on SRI and to put SRI into the government, into the policy.
Okay, and then we have one last question from our online viewers from Michael Snow. He asked, where does Trichoderma inoculant come from? Can it be cultivated at the farm or community level the way that my Corhizae can be grown on the farm?
Yeah, the Trichoderma is basically from the rhizosphere, from the root, from the soil near the rice. And we isolated the Trichoderma from Malaysia, and we grow on the lab. And the farmers actually can grow in their farm. That's why we produce our we have our own way, farmers' own way to produce the Trichoderma back and the different corn. Yeah, it is possible to produce in the farming in the farmers' like for example in Southeast Asia, we provide the Trichoderma freely to the farmers. So we give them the petri dish and they can grow the Trichoderma in their own in their own lab. Their own farming.
Okay, thank you. We have time for one more question from the room here. Before I hand the microphone off to the questioner, anyone who signed up to have lunch with Febri today, meet us right at the beginning. For those who may wish to join one of the future speakers starting next week, make sure that you sign up. and we order lunch and go across the hall to room to man 100, and you have an opportunity to continue your questions. So, last question.
Okay, thank you for your lecture first. I'm Xian, an MPS student in global development. And my question is about the research topic about this project. I guess that this project improved the quality and productivity a lot of rice. And I want to ask if you also focus on the nutrition status and poverty of the town. So like how many people eat more a day, or how this how they sell in the market of the rice like this. So my question is about uh, if you also focus on the poverty and nutrition status. Thank you.
Very difficult questions. We're not focusing on poverty right now. But we have colleagues that study that in Malaysia, and also we have our research focusing on how Sri plants, how Sri can produce healthier grains compared to the non-Sri plants. So we do have that research in Southeast Asia, but we're not really now, at least now we're not looking at that Sri and poverty. Maybe in other areas in Africa, I think now Professor Erika Steiger is working in there in Africa. Maybe she can answer your question. I don't have that data now in our regional network. Yeah.
Okay, please join me in thanking Febri Doni.